check. Mic check. All right. Of course, we failed to update settings. Which, because shit just worked the way it's supposed to. Anyways, doing a little sound check here. I'm gonna open up my phone browser and see if I can hear myself. Can't. It says stream. Not accurate. There we are. There he is. All right, let's stream. Check, check. Hear myself. There he is. Check, check. Hear myself. Sounds good. Looks good. You guys enjoy our new intro video. Hello and welcome to another Monday night with the Patriotic Veteran here. We're doing our Miss American Pride Gaming. Thanks for checking in. Awesome to have you here. Um, Doing our Monday night dealio here. Got no CIA cowboy today. If anybody's been watching the news, you'll probably hear some pretty violent storms going down in the Memphis area there, and he got caught up with some last night. We were watching the race together, and he's like, "Oh shit, gotta go," and then like Facebook called me and showed me his phone video, and it was pretty rambunctious down in them parts. So, just me again tonight. Um, our usual producer who hosts our show for us has been bumped to midnight shift, so he's also unavailable today. One of our moderators is unavailable due to a family loss, and yeah, so you just got me. So let's hope this works out better than last time. Anyways, got us a shorter show lined up. Here's the link. Those of you who've been here before, to our document. Pin that up top there. So if you want to follow along, there's a document that allows you to do that. Follow along with all the stories and shit I'm talking about. So, start at the top of the bill here. Intro video. Got a new intro video, new music. That's my buddy Zach from the band Verdict. I probably met him in 2009 or 10 or something like that. I don't remember, but that was his band back in the day. I don't even think they're together no more. At least they're not on the same name. There's a couple of guys that are in the same group, but yeah, got a new layout going on here. See let's see here. Got the American Legion QR code right there. Up over there, got our VetTix referral QR code. And they got tons of shit going on right now. They got baseball games galore, monster trucks. They sent me to NASCAR. They actually had some NASCAR truck or NASCAR Chicago street race tickets available. I did not get on any of those just because I try to steer out of Chicago if possible. But both those are good deals. If you want to learn how to help in your community, check out that link. If you want to learn how to get some tickets and stuff, check out, yeah, fuck it, the VetTix link up there. I even practiced that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I practiced trying to get them arrows down. One's there and one's there. Anyways, what else? What we got here? Yep, new outlines of everything. What did I do this week? I did lots of housework. I've past 2 or 3 weeks I've been ripping out part of my kitchen wall. It's got water damage in the wood in there, and the more I took out, the more I kept finding, and I went literally all the way down to the studs of my house. Thank you, Solid Band. Glad you like the new layout here. It's I figured it's been 6 of 8 weeks that I've had to run this thing by myself, so I figure I might as well just make me a layout for something that works for me. This is what you get. But so I got all the interior of my windows put back together. I should have put a picture of that in here. But it looks pretty good, I think. It's not doesn't look as good as it did when I started, but I repaired a lot of rotten wood. So now we get to go. The inside's done. I got to go outside. I got most of the trim and everything put up outside. I bought some rubber roofing membrane, and I have to use basically one piece to do the bottom like U of the window on down into the window relief that's cut into the roof. It's gonna be a pain, but I'm not a housework guy. I don't know anything about it really. So it's just I make it up as I go along, and I've had to take the window back out twice already to fix something that I should have saw coming. But you live and you learn, and you do what you can to try to save some money and try not to pay somebody else $1,200 to do it. So what else happened? Our well ran out of water yesterday or the day before yesterday. It ran out yesterday. The day before yesterday, I had went and already got a tank of water. I got a 1,000-gallon water trailer. Because I don't like to use our well water for the gardens for this exact reason. Because I don't want to run the well dry for my plants, right? The wells for our house, our showers, our dishwashers, our toilets, all that stuff. So luckily I went and got 1,000 gallons of water for the strawberry patch, and I had the sprinkler running off that. Well, our well ran out yesterday, so I had to switch it over to the cistern and put some water in there. It's been a very, very dry year, very dry spring. I will probably have to haul water for the next few weeks. We did get about 4 hours of rain last night in the middle of the night, but I don't think it's relevant. I think the earth's just going to soak it up. It probably will not replenish our well at all. I golfed. Everybody knows Meat Shield. I golfed in his company golf scramble the weekend before last weekend. I think. Yeah. Not yesterday. A week before yesterday. Father's Day weekend it was. Um, Happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. I don't know if I said that last week or not, but anyways, I was supposed to be the drunk guest, but we ended up using about 75% of my shots. So apparently, I was a better golfer. That was my first time golfing in like 2 years, I think. So did all right there. Pretty happy about that. Watched a NASCAR race yesterday. My Discord channel. They raced at Nashville. I did get second in fantasy. Lost to Cowboy. Not too happy about that. But speaking of Cowboy, with the thank you, Miss American Pride. Happy Father's Day to you guys too. I don't know if Mr. Pride is a dad or not. Yeah, I've heard kids in the background. Okay, happy Father's Day to him too, belated. Um, so Cowboy probably won't be with us for a while. It's a pretty bad storm down there. They got no power, no internet. He said that there was like 3 or 4 miles of power lines down, and actually I talked to him on the phone earlier today, and he said that FEMA was there. They were flying uh, helicopters over. He has 4 kids. You let him do that to you 4 times? Oh my lord. It's American pride. But yeah, Cowboy said FEMA was down there, and that he said the ambulances just got through all the debris and got back to where he lives today to check out all the houses and stuff. So that's a good thing. They got some relief en route. It sounds like. Let's see, what do we got going on for our show? I brought back some This Week in History. I tried being a little bit conservative with my picks because I know that it gets dry and everybody wants to learn stuff all the time. He had one, and then I had one, and he gave you two. Dang, I can't believe you went back for seconds. You gotta be proud of yourself. Strong stomach, I bet. I'm just kidding, Ryan. We love you. So let's get on with some This Week in History. The earliest, this is a good one. The June 20th, 1782, the United States Congress officially adopts the Great Seal of the United States of America. As far as I know, it's unchanged since 1870 or 1782. Lexic, for me to say. June 18th, 1812. After much debate, the U.S. Senate voted 19 to 13 in favor of a declaration of war against Great Britain, prompted by Britain's violation of the Americas' rights on the high seas and British incitement of Indian warfare on the western frontier. The next day, President James Madison officially proclaimed the U.S. to be in a state of war. The War of 1812 lasted over 2 years and ended with the signing of the Treaty of Ghent in Belgium on December 24th, 1814. So, some people call this the Second Revolution, right? Because, like, England didn't believe that we won our independence the first time around, so they hung around. Like, they had ships all up in the Great Lakes. Actually, part of one of the cities sacked in the War of 1812 was Detroit, Michigan. It was under British control, and we had to go kick them out. There's a Battle of New Orleans, which I'm sure you've heard the history and the song about. But yeah, the British were up and down the Mississippi River and in the Great Lakes and stuff with all their navies and stuff. So this war was to finally oust them. It says the British incitement of Indian warfare. So they had kind of allied themselves with several Indian tribes and chiefs to fight against the expansion of America, basically. So, yep, that was 2 years, a little over 2.5 years, looks like. June 18th, 1815, on the fields near Waterloo in central Belgium, 72,000 French troops led by Napoleon suffered a crushing military defeat from a combined Allied army of 113,000 British, Dutch, Belgian, and Prussian troops. Thus ended 23 years of warfare between France and the other powers of Europe. Napoleon was then sent into exile on the island of St. Helena off the coast of Africa on May 5th, 1821. The former vainglorious emperor died alone on the tiny island abandoned by everyone. I think that was his second time in exile, right? Because he went to Elba the first time, and then they rescued him, and he took over France again, and then got ousted. But hey, Speedy, thanks for checking in, buddy. Hi, chat. I'm here, but we'll be quiet today. That's all right, man. We're glad you can make it at all. It's a good thing you're here. Let's see here. June 25th, 1862. During the American Civil War, the 7 Days Campaign began as Confederate General Robert E. Lee launched a series of assaults to prevent a Union attack on Richmond, Virginia. The campaign included battles at Oak Grove, Gaines Mills, Garnett's Farm, Golding's Farm, Savage's Station, White Oak Swamp, and Malvern Hill, resulting in over 36,000 casualties on both sides. Despite losing the final assault at Malvern Hill, the Confederates succeeded in preventing the Union Army from taking Richmond. June 19th, 1865. So this is close of the war here. And oh yeah, I know what this is. I read this. I put this shit together. What am I talking about? Had a brain fart. Galveston, Texas. Upon the arrival of Union troops, Major General Gordon Granger read the General Order Number 3. Quote, the people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. End quote. As a result, an estimated 250,000 enslaved African Americans in Texas were finally freed. The day is now celebrated as Juneteenth. Commemorate emancipation and to I'm not reading the rest of that. So yeah, I thought Juneteenth was some sort of like super liberal holiday, and like the people, the ignorant conservatives I live around also thought that. And so before I speak, obviously I have to educate myself. I look it up, educate myself, and this was actually a deal. So the way I understand is, Texas was at the time the farthest west, basically, that we have had civilized in our definition of civilization, and so they were the last to get word of the Emancipation Proclamation, and not everyone believed it, including like the Texas governor. So President Lincoln actually sent a small group of Union troops over there with a general to read the people of Texas this executive order, or General Order Number 3, it says. But that's whenever it. So literally, like all at once, all of a sudden, 250,000 people were not enslaved anymore. Not enslaved. It just like that. So I thought it was a pretty cool story. Be a pretty cool mission to be on back in the day. 23rd, 1865, the last formal surrender of Confederate troops occurred as Cherokee leader and Confederate Brigadier General Waddy surrendered his battalion comprised of American Indians in the Oklahoma Territory. June 25th, 1876, General George A. Custer, leading 250 men, attacked an encampment of Sioux Indians near Little Bighorn River, Montana. Custer and his men were then attacked by 2 to 4,000 Indian braves. Only one scout and a single horse survived. Custer's last stand on the Little Bighorn battlefield. News of the humiliating defeat infuriated Americans and led to all-out war. Within a year, the Sioux Indians were a broken and defeated nation. It's a very famous battle there. Happened on June 25th. Yesterday was the anniversary of that. 1948, Soviet Russia began a blockade of Berlin. 2 days later, the Allies responded with an emergency airlift to relieve 2 million isolated West Berliners. During the Berlin airlift, American and British planes flew about 278,000 flights, delivering 2.3 million tons of food, coal, and medical supplies. The plane landed in Berlin every minute from 11 Allied staging areas in West Germany. The Russians lifted their blockade of Berlin on May 12, 1949. However, the airlift continued until September 30th. We cannot even imagine the scale of this operation. 278,000 flights. That's over of 250,000 flights and 2.5 million tons. So 2.5 million is a lot, and then you got to multiply by tons, which is what, 2,000 or whatever. So insane amounts of man hours and weight and food and supplies and airplanes. That's crazy. And that was, only 3 years after the war ended. So I don't know what Russia was doing over there. I know that we had to split Germany east and west, right? So apparently they were being shitheads to somebody. June 25th, 1950, the Korean War began as North Korean troops led by Russian-built tanks crossed the 38th parallel and launched a full-scale invasion of South Korea. 5 days later, U.S. ground forces entered the conflict, which lasted until July 27, 1953, when an armistice was signed at Panmunjom, formally dividing the country at the 30th parallel into North and South Korea. My grandfather was a part of the Korean War. I don't know that he fought. He died before I got to talk to him about any of his military experience, but I do know he was in the Navy and the Army. He served 3 years in each. He got hurt in one of them, and the other one said, "We don't care, we'll sign you." So they paid for whatever surgery he had to have and kept him. I got his paper somewhere. I got to go through it some more days. All right. June 18th, 1983, Dr. Sally Ride, a 32-year-old physicist and pilot, became the first woman first American woman in space, beginning a 6-day mission aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Now, see, I thought it was the first woman, but now I read this and it says first American woman was the man in space. Aha! Imagine that, a Russian. Valentina Tereshkova, first woman in space. June 16th, 1963 was hers, but 20 years and 2 days before America decided to send a woman up there. Yeah, shit, that's not near as cool as the fact as I thought. Still cool. American woman gets to go to space, but I thought she was the first woman. I misunderstood that greatly. Oh man, so what else we got? Oh, we got some birthdays up in here. Lou Gehrig's birthday. I didn't even put a date. I think it's. Why didn't I put a date on that? Check this out real quick. Gehrig's birthday. Sally Ride was June 18th, right? Said that one. Gehrig was before her, I think. Ha! That was a fact on there. I missed it. June 16th, 1963. Valentina Tereshkova, 26, became the first woman in space as her Soviet spacecraft Vostok 6 took off from the Tyuratam launch site. She manually controlled the spacecraft, completing 48 orbits in 71 hours before landing safely. That is late, but still going in. 63. Boom. That on this day in history. Alright, we're looking for Lou Gehrig's birthday. Where's this guy at? I don't know where the hell I put that at. I think I just Google it, huh? Yay. 1903. Oh, shnikes, he's old. Was old. He probably ain't around no more. He had Lou Gehrig's disease, huh? Probably. 19th. Let's see about Lou Gehrig there. He had to retire when he was 36 and died 2 years later. Anybody know what Lou Gehrig's disease actually is? ALS, is that what it is? Much stuff to read. Anyways, happy late birthday there, Lou. Oh, ooh, this is a good one. Audie Murphy, June 20th. American military hero and actor Audie Murphy was born in Kingston, Texas. He was the most decorated American soldier of World War II, awarded 37 medals and decorations, including the Medal of Honor, for single-handedly turning back a German infantry company by climbing on a burning U.S. tank destroyer and firing its 50 caliber machine gun, killing 50 Germans. He later became an actor in Western and war movies and made 45 films including Red Badge of Courage, Destry, To Hell and Back, based on his autobiography. He died May 28, 1971 in a plane crash near Roanoke, Virginia. Of course. June 24th, boxing champ Jack Dempsey was born in Manassas, Colorado. Dubbed the Manassas Mauler, he reigned as world heavyweight champion from 1919 to 1926. Following his boxing career, he became a successful New York restaurant operator. That's all I got for birthdays in history today. I appreciate everybody checking in. Says we got 5 viewers. I don't know if that thing's ever accurate or not, but either way, still appreciate everybody for being here today. Let's see what else we got. Accurate. Yes, got a link here for some veteran outreach events. If you or anybody you know has some time or has some needs, click that link there in your chat. Drive. Well, you better not be texting and driving, Miss American Pride. Bad for you. But anyways, check that link out. If there's anything in your area, they take volunteers if you're not military, or if you're military and capable. You know, if you're handy capable, you can go help other people out. But the VA keeps a pretty good schedule. I bet you are always. I have no doubt, Miss Pride, that you are always texting. See here, we don't have a veteran spotlight today. I think we're about halfway done, so we're a half hour, and it's gonna be a 1 hour show. This man, Cowboy must talk a lot. Don't tell him I said that. We're due, but I think we're gonna go ahead and check out this new break screen we got. So if it works out, I'm trying to remember what I put on there. Oh yeah, I know what I did. I compiled a video of all of the veteran spotlights that we've had so far. Almost all. There's a couple of them that the Cowboy had that I don't have access to those files, and obviously, being as he is currently underwater and under trees and shit, I can't get them. So enjoy this break video. I'm gonna go make me a drink and empty the bucket, and I will see you all back here in about 4 minutes.
Hey everybody, Marcus Hadfield, served in the Illinois National Guard for 11 years, deployed twice, once to Louisiana to train the soldiers going to Iraq, 03-04 the second time, 08-09 to Afghanistan. I currently am working for Illinois Department of Transportation and own Hattie Livestock Farms. I have a beautiful wife and 4 children. Hope you guys are having a great day.
Hi, my name is Court Greger. I served in the Army active duty from 2005 to 2013. I was deployed to Afghanistan 2011 to 2012 as a field artillery cannon crew member, but I served as a section chief and ammo team chief while deployed. I am now 35 and I work at Pontiac Correctional Center in Illinois as a lieutenant. I have a wife, 5 kids, and been an interesting career, rough journey through transition from military to civilian world, but here I am.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? I'm Devin Elrod. I did 4 years in the Coast Guard, just got out in January 2023. I did a year and a half in Baltimore on a 175-foot buoy tender, just patrolling, doing H2 navigations, make sure the waterways were safe. I did about 13 weeks at A School, Machinery Technician A School in Yorktown, Virginia. Learned how to work on diesel engines, gasoline, inboard, outboard, all that cool kind of stuff. Then I went to a 87-foot patrol boat in Galveston, Texas, and that's where I spent the last 3 years of my tour. Patrolling off the shore of Galveston, about 200 nautical miles out, enforcing maritime law, migrant interdictions, drug interdictions, all that kind of cool stuff. And I eventually got out as a machinery technician 3rd class, and now I'm a diesel mechanic back home, North Carolina, living happy and loving life.
I'm Alex Coons, where I served in the Illinois Army National Guard from 2003 to 2009. Served in Iraq from 2005 to 2006 as an infantryman. I got out as a Sergeant E5. From the time I got out to now, basically I'm iron worker, welder, pipe fitter, whatever the skilled trade is. I learn it and I go from there.
Hey guys, my name is Jeremy Miller. Served in the Illinois Army National Guard for a little over 6 years. Deployed once to Iraq 05 to 06. Still reside in Illinois, work for a company called All States Ag Parts, and also run a self-storage business with my business partner. Married for almost 12 years now, 2 kids, a 9-year-old and a 4-year-old that keep us very busy. Hope everyone has a good day out there.
Hey guys, my name is Chris Hefner. I served in the Illinois Army National Guard for 8 years. I was a staff sergeant. I was deployed 2 times, once in 2005 to 2006 in Iraq, and then for a second time, 2008, 2009 in Afghanistan. Currently, I reside in this great state of Tennessee. I run a small boutique barbell personal training gym, and I've got a lovely wife and a kid on the way, and we're loving life, doing pretty good.
And we're back. Oh, I was a little close there. So how'd y'all enjoy that new break video? Decent. Enjoy putting it together. It's nice to revisit some of our content that I feel kind of gets overlooked sometimes. All those guys are good bunch of fellas sending them videos. Just 'cause I asked. Didn't ask what for, didn't get embarrassed about nothing. I just asked them, hey, send me a 30-second clip of who you are, what you did, what you're doing. So I can share with the people, man. They did. Very nice of them to partake in this little show we got going on here. So on the backside of break, American Pride asks, what kind of drink did you make? LOL, the video is great. Thanks for your service. Absolutely. Thank you for your service. I made me a freedom drink, also known as Tito's handmade Texas vodka and lemonade. It's only because my proper number 12 was out and my old lady's mad at me, so she would not go get me a new one. She would have if I would have asked nicely, but I wasn't in the business of asking nicely. I did without. My own choice. Stubbornness, for some reason, is worth a lot to some of us men. I'm one of them. I like to be stubborn. No good reason for it. So we got some congressional activity. I got an email earlier today. I think it was today. Yeah, fuck it, doesn't matter when it was. But it's about House Joint Resolution 44. Now this is the one. This is the joint resolution that would nullify the rule issued by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. That rule that they issued titled Factoring Criteria for Firearms with Attached Stabilizing Braces. It was published in January. We talked about it the first couple episodes of the show. It came out where basically they were trying to say that if you take a pistol and put a front grip on it, now you have to register. Or if you take a pistol and mount it in one of those, that make like little butt stocks for them or whatever. Basically, they're saying that any sort of stabilizing brace, they wanted you to have to register that as some sort of, I don't know what, fucking more dangerous weapon or something. But anyways, this bill was introduced. I think it was by a Senator Cruz or a Representative Cruz from Texas or California. There's a bipartisan bill when it started. I don't remember. We read it. If you guys want to know, anyways. So, this resolution has passed the House on June 13th, but failed in the Senate. I think yesterday or today or something. Well, not yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. So maybe today or last weekend, but it's in my most recent email update about this bill. So it failed in the Senate. 49 to 50. So I don't know if someone was absent or how that works. But anyways, it failed in the Senate by one vote. So the way I understand how this works is the bill will now be debated on by the Senate. Not in my stupid. This is my head up so bad when I have typos. The bill will now be debated on by the Senate until they can come to terms, which can be agreed upon and pass as an amended version. The amended version that the Senate passes and the original version that the House passed will then be given to what's called a conference committee. A conference committee is a temporary ad hoc panel composed of House and Senate conferees formed for the purpose of reconciling differences in legislation that has passed both chambers. So the House already passed it. The Senate is going to talk about it and debate about it until they pass it, and then it will go to this conference committee. Conference committees are usually convened to resolve bicameral differences on major or controversial legislation. Logic tells me that the conference committee then, like I said, this is not fact. Logic tells me that the conference committee then finds compromise in the two bills and presents a third best of both worlds version to be voted on again. Again, that's just the way I understand it. Don't take it for gospel. I mean, there's so much information on this, and it's not really so much information. There's so many words. Like when you actually try to look into, we used to do some Constitution education. Man, that makes you thirsty thinking about it. Like they use so many words that to describe things that I feel like could use some little words. Just like, oh yeah, the Senate's more powerful than the House. Okay, so the Senate overrules them. That's good. No, they have to have like a 74-page document explaining exactly. But if Frank does this and John's this guy's, but he's the senior, and oh man, it's so I don't really know. But that's what, like I said, logic tells me that after both these bills pass, the Senate's going to amend it to where they are cool passing it, and then once they both pass, the conference committee is going to kind of merge them together and ask both houses to pass the same bill, and that will, not both houses, but you know what I'm saying. And then that will then go to the president to be signed. The way I understand it. Fuck it, I don't know. But moving on, we got some news of the week. Now we're going to start off with this stupid submarine because it's been all over the damn news. I don't know what this submarine thing's about. I truly don't know what this submarine's about. I think a bunch of rich people rented or purchased a submarine and a pilot, captain, I don't know what you call him, to go see the Titanic, right? So shit hit the fan, and they ran out of batteries or engines or whatever happened, and then they had like 96 hours of oxygen left. Is what the story that I got. So, Military Times posted an article from the Associated Press that says it's titled "No One Knows the Cost of Titan Submersible Search for the U.S. Military." So after the submersible went missing, the United States military, among a bunch of other people, went looking for it. Apparently, there was no proposed cost cap. There was no proposed cost sharing between branches or between countries or UN or anything. Although several countries did help. So the cost of the unprecedented search for a missing Titan submersible will easily stretch into the millions of dollars, experts said Friday. The massive international effort by aircraft, surface ships, and deep-sea robots began Sunday when the Titan was reported missing. Researchers raced against a 96-hour clock in the desperate hope to find and rescue the vessel's occupants before their oxygen supply ran out. Speedy says it was doing tours to the Titanic wreck. Yeah, was it just is that like a company that does it? Is it a one-time deal, or did they have to rent that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. I don't really know I know they're going to see the Titanic, but is it a regular thing? Have 1,000 people done this before these guys decided they wanted to do it, or is this a new thing? It's like I have two schools of thought. First school of thought is the obvious American school of thought is what are they hiding from us? Why are they distracting me with some sort of submersible Titanic trip? What's really happening? Like did we just like double our taxes? Did we cut Social Security? Did the veterans benefits get cut? What like why is this on the news and not something else? Are they hiding something from us? And my second school of thought is who gives a shit? 5 rich ass people who could afford to take a submersible down to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean went to the Atlantic Ocean, the bottom of it, and never came back. Who cares? You know how many people die every day? Why are these 5 so important? Michael Strahan took that shuttle out to. I don't think he went to the moon, right? He just went to outer space and came back. Like if that thing disappeared, then what? I still wouldn't care. I don't know. Like hundreds of millions of people die monthly or annually or whatever, and no one cares. But then all of a sudden, 5 rich motherfuckers in a private submarine die, and it's a big deal. I don't know. Seems kind of shady. Like I think they're hiding something. I think it's a misdirect. I think it's a distraction. I want to know what really happened. Somebody find out. Send it to me. Let's see. Search area spanned thousands of miles, twice the size of Connecticut, and in waters 2.5 miles deep. With agencies such as U.S. Coast Guard, the Canadian Coast Guard, the United States Navy, and other agencies and private entities. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was rich enough to have my own boat, that'd be cool to be out there looking for that shit. They had P-8 Poseidon Subhunters, C-130 Hercules, P-3 Orions, tons of shit. So millions and millions of dollars. All right, Speedy's got a reply for us. He said it was a company, I think. It was a billionaire that run it, and it was not the only tour down to it that did it. Okay, so This was not a first time go, this is the first time loss. But either way, if you had enough money to take a submarine down to sea, the wreckage of the Titanic, like a guy like me can only hope to pay for Netflix long enough to watch a documentary. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I don't believe it. Moving on from that. So, anyways, we covered the submersible. Why does the world care so much about the submersible? Is it a cover up for something else? That is my question. Someone find me an answer. Now we're going to move on to a little bit of happier stories. A 100-year-old veteran gets help seeking Purple Heart for a World War II injury. Chattanooga, Tennessee, Raymond Chambers never received a Purple Heart despite being wounded while serving during World War II, but now, at 100 years old, he may have a chance to receive the military decoration with the help of resident Robert Gould. Take a drink. Hold on a second. One of Gould's neighbors, an American Legion member, knew Chambers and helped introduce the two men. Gould took an interest in the life and history of Chambers. Quote, it was fascinating to listen to him, hear the history that he was bringing forth, end quote. In 1942, Chambers enlisted in the Army and served with the 3rd Infantry Division, mostly in France and Italy. The most difficult part of serving was watching his friends die in front of him, he said. Hard thing about combat is holding your buddy in your arms, or just watching the medics work on him and him passing away with a bullet in him. Stays on you forever. Those are the words of Chambers. For the record, I was in the 3rd Infantry Division. Obviously not the same time as this guy, but later. Chambers remembered the names of several soldiers he watched die, but the one he spoke of most was a soldier from Texas named Cruz, who was a husband and a father. During one battle, a lieutenant ordered Cruz to go out against the German forces, Chambers said, but he tried to tell Cruz to ignore the order due to the danger. I told him do not go, Chambers said. I said, tell that lieutenant to go to hell. Cruz went out anyways, Chambers said, and the Germans killed him. Chambers said he did not want anything to do with the lieutenant after that. Chambers was not immune from the dangers of war. While fighting in France, he sustained wounds from artillery shrapnel that struck him in the head and rear end. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital before returning to duty with shrapnel still in his body. Chambers said the shrapnel has not caused many issues for him other than giving him some discomfort when sitting. For Chambers, the longest lasting wounds have been psychological. I was a nervous wreck when I came back, he said. When he returned to America in 1945, Chambers stayed for 3 months in a hospital in Florida. He said there were a couple of nights where he tried to dig foxholes with his hands outside the hospital. After his stay at the hospital, Chambers had the opportunity to fill out paperwork to receive his medals, including the Purple Heart, before a bus was set to take him home. Barbara Painter, Chambers' living companion for the past decade, said Chambers felt rushed to get on the bus and he wanted to go home more than he wanted his medals. So he got on the bus, she said. I can relate to that. Just wanting to get the fuck home. And I'm sure if we've got Miss American Pride, Mister's American Pride, that's a joke. Anyways, I'm sure she can probably speak the same for her husband, or he could speak it if he's watching. But once you get that paperwork to go home, man, you're not trying to have no more examinations. You're not trying to have no more conversations. You're not trying to have no more reviews. You just want to be over it and done with it, out of it, because at that point in time, your brain thinks that that's what's gonna make you feel better, that that's what's gonna fix you or whatever, is to get away from it. Separation. And it obviously we all figure out later that that's not the answer. It doesn't work. Getting away from it doesn't work, and most of us will look back and say, I miss it. I wish I would never have left. Granted, we've all got reasons for leaving. Mine's Barack Obama, solely Barack Obama, but a lot of us probably gave up a lot of benefits. We probably ignored a lot of explanation that we should have heard. Probably gave up some medals. I know this is not bullshit. On the day that I got back to the United States, we had to do like a 7-day like a demobilization, right? And that's just basically they got several stations set up. Some army base. It could be an army base, a reserve base, a guard base, anything. But several stations, and basically, they just give you a checklist with probably 30 or 40 boxes on there that you gotta check. You check the box, right? And the sooner you get done, the sooner you get to go home. And that's literally it's that simple. So if I can imagine, be like, I had that head injury from the one IED back in 05. I had the neck injury from that Humvee accident in 06. I got that shrapnel in my elbow in 05. But is it really? It doesn't hurt. I'm 23 years old. Does it hurt? No, fuck no, it don't hurt. So let's get out of here. I want to go see my family. I want to go drink some beers. Go visit a college campus. I mean, that's why we all served anyway, right? With the girls. I'm just kidding. But anyways, so when Chambers says here that he felt rushed to get on the bus, yeah, and he's not trying to say that the United States Army was pushing him to get out of there and get on the bus. What he was saying, he felt rushed. Like I'm ready. I want to go. I know exactly what this man's saying. I left an Army Achievement Medal on the table. Like literally, we were in the room, like probably 6 or 7 of us. It was just like basically your after deployment medal. If you didn't do anything, super heroic or whatever to get bronze stars and all that stuff. Well, actually, you don't need to be a hero to get a bronze star. Yeah, you fucking heard it. Tell every sergeant first class and captain out there that's got a bronze star. Ask them if they earned it. You don't get a bronze star without getting a Purple Heart too. But anyways, that's a separate story we could all talk about later. But yeah, we were doing paperwork for an Army Achievement Medal, and I was like, what in the fuck are we doing? Who cares about this stupid ribbon? I want out of here. So I left the paperwork on the table and walked out. Now, granted, looking back, like I've got several ribbons and medals and all that shit, and an Army Achievement Medal, it wasn't important to me at the time, and it really is not important to me now. But now I look at my legacy, and I'm like, whenever one of these days my son's gonna ask me, he's only 9 now, so he don't get it. But one day my son's gonna ask me, hey, what'd you do? Hey, what's this medal mean? Hey, what's this red and white ribbon mean? You know what I mean? And that makes me look back, and I'm like, well, shit. Maybe I should have took the time. Maybe I should have filled out the paperwork. Maybe it's just one more ribbon on the stack, but still, maybe it would have been worth it. So I've actually got a hold of a couple people here recently to see if there's anything that can be go back. So when I read this article, I'm gonna keep reading by the way. But whenever I found this article, it did hit home for me because I know here how Mr. Chambers is feeling. He's just ready to get the fuck out. So he met it with Gold, this guy from the neighborhood apparently, and that's where we're picking up the story at. So after their initial meeting, Gold presented Chambers with a print of a painting by his father titled Peace 1783, A Nation is Born. Gold's father, John F. Gold, was an artist and illustrator who worked for General Electric Company and the Saturday Evening Post. In honor of the nation's bicentennial, John Gold created a series of 3 paintings depicting George Washington in historical scenes in 1783, Robert Gold said by phone. In Peace 1783, A Nation is Born, Washington is depicted in Newburgh, New York, where the first badge of military merit, the precursor to the Purple Heart, was presented. While the badge of military merit was forgotten over time, the award was reestablished as the Purple Heart in 1932 by General Douglas MacArthur, at the time the Chief of Staff of the United States Army. Oh, there's Iceman. He's he's playing NASCAR Heat. Iceman, I'll be watching my damn stream. I better get a hold of him. Anyways, so after those two met, Gold said he wanted to help Chambers get the Purple Heart. That's pretty much the end of the article. He hasn't got it yet, but it's cool that these two are working on getting a hold guy a medal. I mean, how cool would that be to be helping a 100-year-old guy get a medal? I think it'd be awesome. So I'm saving that article. I hope you all do read it, keep up with it, follow it. It's super cool. I might be saving it. I'm trying to figure. There it is. All right. Yeah, I got that article saved, but I'm not gonna wait till I'm 100. But I'll go get that Army Achievement Medal someday. What else we got? Got some 100-year-old veteran aircraft. Oh yeah, this is cool. Aircraft carrier the USS Ronald Reagan makes a historic stop in Vietnam. Sent you something in group chat. All right. Well, I heard the beep beep. I'll check it out. Speedy, what'd you send me here? Oh, okay. Article: Titanic sub firm's late CEO was committed to safety. Oh, so the CEO was in the damn thing? And it's called Ocean Gate? Come on. Why not just call it Watergate? Dude, that was a bad deal. I'm gonna read more on that later. We'll save the rest of that conversation, Speedy. We'll save the rest of that conversation for next week when Cowboy's here. Hopefully he'll be here next week, because I know he's got some opinions on that. He loves conspiracies, and that'll double the length of our show anyway once we get him back. So I'm gonna keep this next one short here. The aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan makes a historic stop in Vietnam. The USS Ronald Reagan and 2 escort ships steamed into Da Nang Bay on. They probably didn't steam because they're probably not steamers, right? So they probably dieseled or smoked on in there, or are they nuclear now? All right, shit, I should have made fun of them because now I don't know the answer. Anyways, they steamed into Da Nang Bay on Sunday, marking the 3rd visit of a U.S. aircraft carrier to Vietnam since hostilities ended and the 1st since the COVID-19 pandemic has ebbed. Oh, man. The Ronald Reagan, escorted by the guided missiles cruisers USS Antietam, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Antietam, right? We're going with Antietam. And USS Robert Smalls, that's easy to pronounce, pulled into port in Da Nang, where their crews are scheduled to take part in cultural and professional exchanges, community service projects, and other events, the USS Embassy in Vietnam said in a Sunday news release. More than 5,000 sailors aboard USS Ronald Reagan are eager to visit Da Nang and experience Vietnamese culture. The carrier's skipper, Captain Daryl Cordone, said in a release, "The entire crew and I are grateful for this opportunity and the hospitality of the Vietnamese." It's decently long article. Y'all can read it. It's in the thing. Read it. Damn it. But I'm trying to think when this. I talked to a guy who served with a guy who went to Vietnam. So the guy I talked to is younger than a Vietnam veteran would be, right? So, but he served with a guy who was in Vietnam, and he told me that that guy in later life, when they hit 60 or something, at retirement age, that he went back to Vietnam. And so the guy I was talking to was like, I couldn't imagine trying to go back to uh, a theater of combat that you served in. And there was a movie. Oh man, I gotta Google it. It's a B list movie. It's not good. Here, movie about returning to. Yeah. There's a movie called Return to Vietnam, but I don't think that's it. No, that's a documentary. Point Man. I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. Return with Honor. Ooh, that's not that, but that's something different. Return with Honor, and American Experience presents Return with Honor, the story of captured airmen, featuring rare film footage from Vietnam's archives. Ooh, we'll keep y'all up on that one. Anyways, turns the film up. Tyler being reembarks on trip to Billings back to Vietnam, where he served 2 tours of Dirty. Is this it? Nope, this is another crazy one. Oh, y'all can't see my screen. That's too bad. Alright, I shouldn't have went down this rabbit hole. I'm in a rabbit hole now. I know what I'm doing the rest of my night. Drinking and watching Vietnam documentaries. Five Blood, Apocalypse Now, Deer Hunter, Platoon. Nope, nope, nope. And I knew if I saw it, I could envision the guy's face. So it might be Point Man. I don't know. But anyways, this movie, man, I got so far off track. This movie is about a guy who goes back to Vietnam with a news crew after, 20 or 30 years or whatever after being there in combat, and it's a B list movie or whatever you call it, B class, B list, whatever. It's a shitty movie, is what I'm saying. A low cost production movie, but like it tugs at your heartstrings. This guy, I'm assuming it's a fake movie. Like it might be based on a true story type of deal, but there's no special effects. There's no it's a very very low budget movie. But he goes back and like you could imagine the feeling that you would get if you were a Vietnam veteran and you went back to the same rice paddy, that you fought in, literally fought combat in, and uh, probably lost buddies in. Like, I don't know. But anyways, the whole point is I was talking to this guy about that, and that kind of got me thinking about. I wonder if I could go back to Baghdad per se. And that's actually in a video game, pretty cool. Back to Baghdad. But I looked up, and there's a story about a guy who served around my time of service who went back to Baghdad. Anyways, we're gonna save that rabbit hole for another episode. I'm getting too far gone here, but God, got him. Still a killer. Anyways, yeah. So Ronald Reagan makes a historic stop in Vietnam. It's cool that we have good relations with that country. After a war, I don't know exactly how all the politics worked out between North and South Vietnam and being communist and all that, but it's cool that we can go back to places like that. It shows real modernization and real civilization between all countries here. So moving right along. Who's still with me? Mrs. American Pride, are you still here? I know we got Speedy's here. I know we got Salaban lurking. I'm gonna send a message to Iceman. He ought to be watching this dang show instead of racing. Where you at, Iceman? He's an awesome dude. He's one of our huge supporters. The first couple weeks the show started, we did it on Sundays 6 to 8, and he does his Microsoft Flight Simulator World Tour on Sundays, and rated us like the first 2 weeks of like 20 people, and they all stayed and watched, and it took our numbers. I mean, literally like the first 3 weeks was 0 to 20 viewers, like nothing. You all streamers know how hard it is to get 20 viewers. I mean, shit, we average 8 to 10 on this show, and our numbers are crumbling. We're down to 5 or 6, recently, but Iceman was a huge help to get our name out there, and we're forever grateful for him. I should be drinking out my Iceman mug. I got an Iceman mug. Oh, this one's pretty cool though. So anyways, moving on to other topics. We're about done with the show here. We got the Craigslist founder, Craig Newmark, pledges $100 million to military and veterans charities. He has already paid out over $42 million to charities, including Blue Star families. We owe vets and families a lot, Newmark said in an interview with Leo Shane for Military Times. I try to reclaim the concept of patriotism. At least in my own head, it means helping provide for force readiness, and it's kind of hard to ask someone to do their best if they're worried about their family back home. So, obviously, Craigslist, everybody's heard of that. This dude, I wasn't going to put the story in here initially because, hey, what's up, Iceman? We love you, brother. That's all. I was just telling the people that you better be in here watching because we love you. And if you ever seen his stream's the best. If I had a chicken dance, I'd do it right now, buddy. That's my favorite. But so the Craigslist founder pledges $100 million, and I wasn't going to put this in there initially because that's the only article I saw was he pledges $100 million, blah, blah, blah. I dug into it, and that's when I found out that he had already paid out over $42 million to charities, including Blue Star families. We owe vets and families a lot, he said. Yeah. So it's what he means by force readiness. He's talking about like FRG, which means family readiness groups. So whenever you're getting ready to get deployed, your family also has people trying to prepare them for your deployment because I left as a 18-year-old single man, so for me it was nothing. But on base, if you likely have parents that may live in the area, maybe not, but for the guys who have women and kids, and I say it's like only guys deploy. I apologize, women. I don't mean to be sexist. It's not on purpose. I deployed in the infantry unit back when the infantry was all men, so that's what I know and that's how I say it. It's not a jab at women. I love women folk. But anyways, so a lot of families are left or getting prepared to be left. And so these family readiness groups are people who volunteer their time, a lot of them, to help wives and mothers and children prepare for not having their husband around for, whenever I deployed, it was an 18-month deployment. You went 18 months and you got 2 weeks home in the middle of it somewhere. You're lucky. But these family readiness groups that's what he says. These Blue Star Families is a charity who does stuff for family readiness, basically. Gold Star, we have meetings for everything. Gold Star is the families of deceased service members. Blue Stars are the families of currently serving members. So he's donated $42 million to charities, including Blue Star Families. That's not 42 million straight to Blue Star Families charity, but to charities like them as well. Blue Star Families charity did state that he doubled their operating budget for the next year. So whatever he did, however much he actually gave him, is a fantastic deal, and good. Sounds like good for everybody. And you don't hear of a lot of people making donations to family readiness groups, and I think that's fucking awesome. Everybody's talking about Wounded Warrior Project all the time, and whatever other fucking company's CEO gets paid $500,000 a year, but I think it's a very awesome thing that Mr. Craig did here, and it is probably partially a publicity stunt. We ain't talked about Craigslist in 7 years. No one knows who Craig Newmark is. I never heard of him until this article came out. But if you're gonna use veterans and their service and their families for something, like, this is kind of the right way to do it. You're using us to get your name out there, but you're paying a fuck ton of money to something important, and that's to me, that's way better than watching a stupid suicide commercial at the halftime of a Super Bowl. I appreciate the way he did this, and I appreciate his generosity to the Blue Star Families and other charities. That's all I've got for today. We made it an hour and 5 minutes. Fuck yeah, without Cowboy. Pretty good. So, got to recap and close here. Today is a sad day for one of our digital family, Speedy. His father passed away and was cremated 6 years ago today. And he's having a rough day. He's in our chat right now. You guys can reach out, let him know you're thinking about him if you want to send him a private message or whatever. But we value Speedy. We value his service to our channel here. He's one of our moderators. He does a good job. He checks in every single week. He's always sending us articles and charity events and anything that has to do with anything. His grandfather served in the United States military, and so he has a special affinity to us in our channel. But we love Speedy, and if anybody could take their time to reach out to him, just wish him well. We appreciate that. Also, if you're the praying type, pray for the families in Fayette County, Tennessee. They got hit with some pretty bad storms last night. One of our own, obviously CIA Cowboy, was in the direct path of a lot of damage done. I have pictures. I'm not gonna put his, house and property and shit out there, but it's pretty bad. There's trees everywhere. I mean, you walk off his front porch and all you see is just shit everywhere. So, if you can spare some time, please send him a message with your best wishes and pray to your God for a safe and speedy recovery for the area and the people that live there. The pinned document has everything we just discussed, the full articles, all that shit, all the what do you call that? The credits. You can look up who actually wrote the articles instead of just taking my word for it. Please check out Verdict's music channel. That dude. So he told me, I messaged him. I love his songs. Like I said, I've been listening to him since like 2007, 8, 9, whatever it was. But I sent him a Facebook. I said, "Hey man, how you been? Good. Okay. Hey, I got some question to ask. Can I borrow your CD?" He's like, "Yeah. What for?" I said, "Well, I got the stream thing going. We had the same music for 4 months now. I want to switch it up. I like a little bit heavier music. Your stuff's heavy and pretty clean. Not a lot of cussing. And I can understand your singer. Can I use your first album?" He said, "Man, I would love for you to use my first album. You can have every song on the first album. Use it for any stream you want." So, shout out to Verdict. Appreciate them guys too. Follow along with the document here. We got a new credit screen going up. I'm gonna try to see if we have anyone to raid today. Anybody got any suggestions for a raid? Let's start there. Any suggestions for a raid, chat? Nope, none of my friends are online. Well, that sucks. Might just close her down then. Well, alright, we'll just close her down. It's all good. I sincerely appreciate everybody coming in this week. I think we had a pretty good stream there, pretty quick. Maybe next week Cowboy will be back. Like I said, pray for your people.